namaskritya Airam chaiva narottama Devim sarasatim vyasa Utodaya mudiraya Nasta pareshu abhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati utama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naistiki Jai, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam this morning, Canto 1, Part 3, Chapter 13, and I believe it's verse number 40. It may not be on the board.
Yes, it is. Number 40.
No, that's the wrong verse. That's yesterday's verse.
You just do it Uvacha.
That's 39.
No, that's 39. So what I'll do, well, no problem. We'll be flexible. I'll just chant the Sanskrit and we'll do the word for word. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Karnadara iva pari Bhagavan pada darshakaha Atavavasi Bhagavan Narado munisatamaha. One more time. Karnadara iva pari Bhagavan Padadarshakaha Atapahasi Bhagavan Narado Munisatamaha. Okay, we can repeat the English translation. Karnadaraha, captain of the ship. Iva, like. Apare, in the extensive oceans. Bhagavan, representative of the Lord. Padadarshakaha, one who can give directions to the other side. Ata, thus. Abhavase, begin to say. Bhagavan, the godly personality. Naradaha, the great sage Narada. Muni Satamaha, the greatest among the devotee philosophers. Translation. You are like a captain of a ship in a great ocean, and you can direct us to our destination. Thus addressed the godly personality Devarshi Narada, greatest of the philosopher devotees, began to speak. Please repeat. You are like a captain of a ship. In a great ocean. And you can direct us. To our destination. Thus addressed. The godly personality. Devarshi Narada. Greatest of the philosopher devotees. Began to speak. Purport by divine grace. There are different types of philosophers, and the greatest of all of them are those who have seen the personality of Godhead and have surrendered themselves in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Among all such pure devotees of the Lord, Devarshi Narada is the chief, and therefore he has been described herein as the greatest of all philosopher devotees. Unless one has become a sufficiently learned philosopher by hearing the Vedanta philosophy from a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot be a learned philosopher devotee. One must be very faithful, learned, and renounced. Otherwise, one cannot be a pure devotee. A pure devotee of the Lord can give us direction towards the other end of nescience. Devarshi Narada used to visit the palace of Maharaj Yudhisthira because the Pandavas were all pure devotees of the Lord, and the Devarsi was always ready to give them good counsel whenever needed. So, English, you are like a captain of a ship in a great ocean, and you can direct us to our destination. Thus addressed, the godly personality, Devarsi Narada, greatest of the philosopher devotees, began to speak. Omi Ganata Narandasya, Gana Gana Shalakaya, Shaktu Malitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam, Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Vedanti Swapadantikam, Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam, Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha, Shri Rupam Sakujatam Sahagana Raguna Jampitam Tam Sajivam, Sadhaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita, Shri Vishakantitam Scha, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kamshana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshware, Vrishnavanu State Devi Pranamami Hari Priye, Vanchakalpa Turubhascha Kripa Sindhudevacha, Patinanam Bhavaneyo Vaishnaveyo Namo Namaha, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinda, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai. I was born in the darkest ignorance, but my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. So, thank you so much for letting me do this service of attempting to give class and to somehow or other repeat Prabhupada's instructions and elaborate as best as I can on Srila Prabhupada's purport, which is so wonderful. So, we see here how Maharaj Yudhishthira is announcing the entrance of a Mahabhagava. Narada Muni is not, well, no devotee is ordinary, but Narada Muni is very special personality. And as soon as the entrance of Narada Muni, Maharaj Yudhishthira begins chanting his glories and saying such nice things about him, and what a wonderful devotee of the Lord he is. So the translation is, you're like a captain of a ship in a great ocean, and you can direct us to our destination. So Narada Muni is a spiritual master of other spiritual masters. He's a Mahajana. He's in the direct line of the Parampara, directly from Lord Krishna. Actually, Narada Muni is a special situation. We all know his history. We know about his previous pastimes in his past lives, and how, by the grace of the Lord, he received a special benediction to be like a traveling spaceman and to play his veena and chant the Hare Krishna mantra and save fallen conditioned souls throughout the three worlds. So it's a special situation as a Vaishnava devotee. Actually, we remember a couple of times that Prabhupada mentioned I think it was UC Berkeley, and I think it happened one time in England, that the devotees were gathering for a program. There was a big kirtan and festival, or at least a big kirtan, and Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and not too many people came. And I think Yamuna was there. And Prabhupada said to Yamuna, "Did you see? Did you see?" And Prabhupada was talking about the hall that he was speaking in. And Yamuna said, "No, Prabhupada, what are you talking about? I don't understand. You didn't see Narada Muni. He was there. He came. He was listening." So we understand that Srila Prabhupada has contact with other great Mahabhagavats. He has the vision to see these other great devotees. And so, similarly, the Pandavas, who were also pure devotees, Mahabhagavats, were in direct association and had a direct relationship of love and affection for Narada Muni, and so much respect. So it refers here that Narada Muni is like the captain of the ship in a great ocean. So this material world is analogous to the great material ocean that we have. We see 3/4 of the planet is covered by water. And if you've ever been out to sea, like I have, what a massive body of water this ocean is. And what a formidable task it would be to swim across it. You know, luckily we were on a boat, a ship, and we didn't have to worry about swimming across it. But this material world is compared to a vast ocean. And the living entities, the jivas who are conditioned, who are completely immersed in this illusory energy of the Lord, are struggling in this great vast ocean. And this ocean is also compared to nescience, or darkness. And so the captain of the ship, it's like when I was in the military, the captain of the ship, he was everything. He was your mother, your father, he was God. He was the complete controller. He made or break your life. He gave orders and you had to follow. So the captain of the ship is in charge of being sure that ship safely makes passage through whatever waters he has to go, whatever ocean he has to cross. And if he engages in battle, the captain is responsible for that too. The captain is responsible for every soul on board that ship. He's responsible for everything. So what an important job. So the spiritual master, similarly, he's very responsible. He's responsible for saving the conditioned souls. And he is compared to the captain. The captain is taking care of taking all great pains and austerity and effort and hard work and sacrifice to save the conditioned souls. It says you can direct us to our destination. And we as devotees, we know what the destination is. The destination is to achieve love of Krishna, to actually serve his lotus feet in person in Goloka, Vrindavan. So this is the highest goal that one can achieve in this lifetime, in this human form of life. And it is actually the heartfelt wish of all devotees. All devotees automatically don't have to worry about birth and death and old age and disease. They've already transcended these things. That's not a problem. Mukti is not a problem for a devotee. Crossing the material ocean of birth and death, it's like, what does it say in Scripture? It's like the footprint of a calf. Everybody's seen what a little baby calf's footprint looks like? Have you seen how small it is? Very cute. It's got 2 little puddles in it because they've got bovine, hooves. And they're very small. And so, being a devotee, serving Lord Krishna, engaging in devotional service is compared to jumping over the little hoof print of a calf. That's how difficult it is for the devotee to escape the pangs and the misery and the samsara of the material world. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So, this is our wish, this is our desire. We're not worried about birth and death. We're not worried about old age and disease. These are things that come and go that affect the body. What we're worried about is our service and our love for Prabhupada and our service to the deities and our service to the devotees. That should keep us motivated. That should keep us encouraged and inspired to continue our service. We're not worried about these other things. These other things, they come and go. If we get sick, we get better. We get old, what the heck, you know, it's all part of life. Hopefully we get wiser. And ultimately, whatever Krishna's desire, whatever Prabhupada's desire is, that's where we go at the time of death. So if we remember Krishna, and we remember the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and we have association with devotees, Prabhupada came here and promised us here at New Talavana. He says, you will go back home, back to Krishna in this lifetime. So this is our goal. And again, a devotee, ultimately he comes to the advanced stage. He doesn't care where he goes. He just wants to serve. He's not trying to buy an airline ticket to Goloka Vrindavan. No, 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 no. He's not doing business with Krishna. Krishna, I'll perform pure devotional service with you if you give me a ticket back to your abode. No, 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 no. He's completely surrendered. And Lord Chaitanya is moved. It doesn't matter. And Lord Chaitanya is praying in Shastastika. He's praying, either kick me or vanquish me or whatever. I just want to be your servant life after life after life. So this is the attitude, this is the consciousness, this is the reality we have to come to. We shouldn't worry about little things. Krishna's taking care of us. So Prabhupada has promised us, and our scriptures, our Bhagavad Gita, it reinforces that promise. Janma karma chime divyam evam yoaveti tattvataha. Beautiful verse. Krishna saying, don't worry, devotees, I will take care of you. I will love you because you love me, and I take care of, actually Krishna's taking care of everyone, but especially the devotees, especially the devotees. So don't worry about birth and death, old age and disease, those come and go. Getting back to the captain of the ship. So we have this great ocean to cross, and the jivas, they're not doing very well. It's a big ocean. If you've ever seen an ocean like I have and been at sea, it would take a lot to swim. And ultimately, you can't swim in that ocean because you will perish. You will become exhausted. So similarly, the living entity, he becomes exhausted in the material world. He becomes completely exhausted because of the struggle to swim in this ocean of nescience. If he's not attacked by the Adidautic, Anadiatmic, he's completely captured by the modes of material nature. Even the mode of goodness, where he thinks everything is jolly, everything is happy, everything is cool, and everything is full of harmony. Ultimately, he's a fool. He's an illusion. Because it's another source of Maya. It's another source of Maya is the mode of goodness for one who is not Krishna conscious. So we saw that. We saw that in Hawaii, and we saw that in different places. When Srila Prabhupada would preach, he would preach to some of these so-called sattvic yogis who were engaging in impersonal meditation and Brahmajyoti worship and basically following possibly tricksters or non-bona fide gurus. And they had a hard time listening because they had this conception that they were doing the right thing, and their ego was being attacked when they understood, oh my God, my sattva guna and my process of self-realization, my process of yoga is not perfect like I thought it was. So Prabhupada would blast them and tell them they're nonsense and tell them they're going nowhere. And then eventually, by his purity and Prabhupada's Shakti, the people who were sincere about spiritual realization, they were sincere in their heart, Krishna gave them an understanding to take to this Sankirtan movement. That happened a lot when Prabhupada was preaching throughout North America. So there's another reference of captains of a ship, and it happened in 1 Canto Part 1. And I'm going to read that verse to you all real quick. This is when the sages are gathering at the holy ashram of Namashranya, and Sutta Goswami is gathering there. And they're again, when devotees gather together and they associate, they speak nicely to each other. They glorify each other. They glorify the good qualities they see in each other. They don't nitpick or quarrel or conflict or start talking to Prajapa or start gossiping. No, they're engaging in glorifying Krishna and glorifying each other. So this is devotee, this is Vaishnava. And the sages were gathering at Namasharanya, and if y'all remember this verse, it's in the first chapter of part 1. Tvamna standarshito datra dustaram nisisit shatam kalim statvaharam pumsam kanadara ivaranavam. Translation: we think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all good qualities of a human being. So here they're welcoming and glorifying Sutta Goswami, and yes, because I don't know, is it Sukadeva or Sutta that came first? Sukadeva Goswami. They're glorifying his appearance. He just made his appearance, and they're glorifying him. And they're calling him the captain of the ship. So again, we see twice references as captain of the ship. So, who's the captain of our ship? And in the old days, well, there is no old days, because ISKCON is eternal and transcendental. Many years ago, there was a song that Gokula Ranjana knows, and it was about a train. And the song went, we're going home, we're going home, we're going back to Godhead. Jump on the train. So a train is another transcendental vehicle that takes all the devotees back to Krishna, back to Godhead. So our captain is Srila Prabhupada. And the captain, like every day at sea in the Navy, he gives orders, all right? He's there to take care of everybody. He directs the ships, he tells people where to go, what to do, you know, how to carry on the plan of the day. So Srila Prabhupada has also given us the plan of the day. Actually, he's given us the plan for our lives. He's given us scriptures to glorify Krishna with, to be educated in the science of self-realization, because we've never been educated like this before. We may have come from university backgrounds, college degrees. Prabhu here is very, very learned, and he's a PhD candidate. And so all of our learning and our experiences did not compare to the knowledge that Srila Prabhupada is giving us through his books, right? So that's number one. Number two, he's given us culture. Number three, he's given us character. He's given us purity. He's given us a lifestyle that is non-violent, that is not only healthy for us physically, but it's healthy for us emotionally. This is called Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada is a revolutionary leader. He's a revolutionary captain of the ship. No other captain has come before him or previously behind him and done what he's done. So we're very blessed to be following Prabhupada, because you follow the captain, because the captain, he has the right bearing. He knows what direction to take the ship. And this ship is going back to Godhead. All we have to do is stay on that ship, and we're guaranteed to cross this ocean of nations. So it was interesting. I just wanted to bring that up, that twice between the first part 1 and part 3, they brought up the analogy of the captain of the ship, which is really interesting. Also, Prabhupada says in this purport that a devotee must become a good philosopher. Ooh, that's interesting. So, what does that mean? Does that mean we sit around all day chanting the Bhagavad Gita and learning Sanskrit, not doing any service, and hey Prabhu, it's time to go out and distribute books, or hey Prabhu, we're going to go on Hari? Oh no. Prabhupada says I got to be a philosopher. I got to stay right here and learn the philosophy. No. That's fanaticism, okay? Philosopher means knowing who Krishna is, knowing your position, knowing what it's in the Bhagavad Gita, knowing what the material world is prakriti, nature. That includes the 3 modes of material nature, knowing what karma is, knowing what kala is, knowing the position of the jiva, and knowing ultimately Bhagavan. We know those 5 subjects, we're the philosophers. Nobody in this material world has that information except devotees. Prabhupada would say over and over again, where is that university that has the teachings of the soul? Where is that university or college that has the understanding of transmigration? Where is that university or facility that has the understanding of what happens to the soul or what happens to the human at the time of death? So this is lacking throughout our society. So the devotees are the greatest philosophers. The greatest philosophers. Why? Because we know Janmari Yasha Yataha. We know what the absolute truth is. We know where everything comes from. This is philosophy. It's like Shamasundar's little girl, Shamasundar Malati, Saraswati. She was a little baby, a little 2-year-old baby that would have Prabhupada's association occasionally because because Shamasundar and Malati were there, and Prabhupada would go up to Saraswati. He'd always play with Saraswati, and he would say, "Saraswati, who is Krishna?" And Saraswati, as a little baby, even though she really possibly didn't have a grasp of what she was saying, she would say, "Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead." And this is a little baby girl, okay? So she is the greatest philosopher, all right? Now, this is not to say devotees shouldn't be fixed up. And what does fixed up mean in Krishna consciousness? It means a lot. Fixed up means being fixed up in knowledge. Having knowledge gives you faith. It gives you strength. It gives you spiritual strength. Because occasionally Maya will attack you and cause doubts. Just like Arjuna had doubts during the battlefield with etc. during his dialogue with Krishna. And what has Krishna said about doubts? We must destroy these doubts with knowledge. So Prabhupada said, my disciples are selling the books very nicely. They're distributing books very nicely, but they're not reading my books. So we must read Prabhupada's books every day. Just like we put our hands in that bead bag every day and we chant, we've got to open up Prabhupada's books. Make a little time, at least every day, and open up Prabhupada's books and be exposed to the pure devotee. Associate with his Vani. That's non-different than Prabhupada. Associate with his books. Worship his books by reading his books. Okay? By doing that, we become fixed up. Gradually, we become fixed up. The other way we become fixed up is we hear. We know what Shravanam Kirtan was all about. It fixes up the Sisha, the candidate. Nasta pareshu avadrishu nityam bhagavati uttama shloke. Almost to irrevocable fact. In other words, all the dirty things within the heart become destroyed almost to nil. So by hearing, this hearing is really powerful. We don't really realize how powerful hearing is. Hearing Prabhupada's tapes, hearing somebody speak, hearing class, hearing kirtan, hearing whatever instructions we can about Krishna consciousness, it helps clear some of the cobwebs of doubt that we have in our mind. And we all have doubts. We've all come to Krishna consciousness with doubts. And they've been alleviated or destroyed or hopefully alleviated. Because everyone is doubting in the material world. Everyone is cheated in the material world. Everyone has limited understanding in the material world, so therefore doubt is everywhere. In fact, it's a healthy thing to doubt. It's a healthy thing to challenge. But at the same time, we must be fixed up in this philosophy. So, again, the etiquette and the courtesy of Narada Muni's appearance. Actually, Narada Muni always appears at the right time, at the right place, and we all know it's Krishna's arrangement and Narada Muni's arrangement, right? Narada Muni is always appearing at the right time, the right place. So, how nice it is for him to make his appearance, and automatically Maharaj Yudhisthira is chanting his glories. And so this is nice. So Saturday, we have a very, very highly honored and very important personality, who's a very saintly sannyasi, a senior godbrother of ours, he's appearing. And also, New Talavana will show all respect and adoration for His Holiness Bhakti Churu Maharaj. Are we, they're going to have a foot washing ceremony, Yogi?
No, we didn't want that.
Okay, John. But see, these things are important. It's called culture, Vedic culture. The Vedic culture was so nice. Everyone knew their position. Everyone knew what they were supposed to do. There was no worry about, well, I'm getting cheated, or I'm being discriminated against, or nobody cares about me. No, everybody knew what they were supposed to do. There was peace, there was cooperation, there was coordination. Well, this isn't a Vedic culture. We're not living in a Vedic culture right now. This is 2018, last time I checked, and we're in the middle of the United States of America, in the deep, deep South. So what are we doing? We're following the captain. We're following the greatest revolutionary captain, because he's bringing this Krishna consciousness Sankirtan movement, and with it, he's not transforming everybody by Vedic, we're not transforming the world by Vedic culture. But what we're doing is we're bringing the culture of Sankirtan. We're bringing the culture of Bhagavad Dharma. And by doing that, people are becoming fulfilled, they're becoming content. We're showing people how to live a life of meaning, how to live a life of contentment, fulfillment. Believe me, there's so many people out here that are making lots of money from people who, I feel empty, I don't feel right, I feel sad, you know, I want some meaning in my life, and they're selling them all types of garbage, right? They're cheated. They're being cheated. So this Krishna consciousness movement is to show the people in general that not only are we happy, but we have answers for you, and we have solutions for you to also make you happy too. Here, take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, take this Prasadam, come listen to our Bhagavad Gita class, come listen to our Bhagavatam class, come see our beautiful deities, come hear about and understand the wonderful pastimes and leelas of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And you too will find meaning in your life. You too will have contentment. So we're canvassing like this, okay? And just like when we preach, I was talking to some people last night, and we also have to have, pardon my French, our act together. We also have to have our ducks lined up in one row. We also have to be Krishna conscious when we're talking to these people, because they're judging us. They're looking at us. They're saying, what are you all about? I'm looking at you. You have a nice dhoti, or it looks like you have a nice haircut, or you speak nicely. You know, they're looking at us. They want to know about, well, what's this person all about? What's in it for him that he's so much convinced about this knowledge, about this process? They're checking it out. Why? Because asamshayam samagram, they have doubts. And when they have doubts, the mind wants to find, you know, what's going on, what's wrong, what's our motivation. We have no motivation. We're sold out. We're sold out to Prabhupada's instructions. We're sold out to Krishna. We're sold out to the beauty of Gaur Nitai. We're sold out. We're like animals bought and sold for Krishna. So that's our position. But they don't understand that. So it's important, what I'm telling you, is that how we appear in public. Not only how we appear, how we talk, and how we conduct ourselves. It gets back to Vaishnava etiquette, it gets back to courtesy, it gets back to acting like ladies and gentlemen. Very important if we're going to represent our spiritual masters. Okay? If we're going to represent the absolute truth. If we're going to represent the captain of the ship that's leading this revolution to bring all souls back to Godhead, we have to be of the topmost character and the topmost position. We have to try really hard if we're not. We have to focus on that. We have to take care of our individual anarthas. So a little bit about Narada Muni. Narada Muni was really a special situation. He was many eons ago, or kalpas ago, he was cursed by who originally?
I don't know, but by sages. So,
Because he was messing around with some apsaras and doing some.
he was a very famous Gandharva singer.
Right,
and,
right.
And he had a following of beautiful women.
Right.
And he went to it may have been like a Namaskar event, and
Yeah.
he was singing these songs to actually about demigods, I think.
Really?
Wasn't he? Sometimes he would sing like love songs.
Yeah.
But in that particular case, what I recently heard, he was singing glorification of demigods, and that was inappropriate in that particular situation. It should just be, like glorification of the Supreme Lord.
So he was cursed.
He was cursed, yeah.
And he took this birth of the son of a maidservant. We all know that.
That's before that. I didn't know that part before that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So we could say he's not Nityasiddha, but it says in the Nectar of Devotion, he achieved his perfection by the grace or by the mercy of Krishna. What's it called? Kripa Siddhi. Yes, Mom, you're right. So it's very, very, very neat, very neat. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up because he's a special situation. All right. Any questions or comments?
I was going to just say that what's interesting is the book is 5,000 years old, and they're talking about captains of ships.
Yeah.
Generally, when we think about 5,000 years ago, according to our educational system, you don't think in terms of major ships going across major bodies of water. I mean, there's some reference to some kinds of of these big rowboats with the Vikings, but that's just maybe 1,000 years ago. So yeah, they're already talking about captains of ships. So obviously, our history isn't in line.
Yeah. The Sanskrit word looks like the Sanskrit word for captain. Believe it or not, it's one of the gurus. It's Karna.
Really?
Karna is twice, both references. No, Karna Dara, captain. Yeah, Yogi.
There is a reception for Maharaj tonight in New Orleans.
Oh, really?
Tonight or tomorrow?
Hmm?
He's coming tonight?
He's coming tonight to New Orleans Temple. There's a reception program from 6 to 8.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. So we have to become philosophers.
I have something.
Yes, ma'am.
Just how when you were talking about, I guess you were referring to what the program that Joy is hosting.
Yes,
that you
ma'am.
were there, and so how we need to set an example.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was so much appreciating everything you were saying today.
Thank you.
I'm really glad that I'm sitting here. So, so we have to, put our best foot forward in that situation for people that are new to Krishna consciousness, but especially older devotees.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's important to set a nice example just for the newer, younger, second generation devotees, because sometimes, we'll get looked at or examined, and the older, we call them kids, but they're in their 30s, whatever. I think you've been chanting Hare Krishna for 40 years, and you're getting bent out of shape about this,
Yeah.
And they're not claiming to be, self-controlled, but they haven't been chanting and practicing for 40, 50 years either. So we really have a responsibility to rise to the occasion, to and believe me, I'm talking to myself. Instead of just talking the talk, start walking the walk. And really where that comes from, and you address this also, is hearing and chanting, and getting serious about this process of devotional service. Because one little realization I had from listening to Chaitanya Charan is that if we're not getting a taste from hearing and chanting, which there's a taste there, but if we're not getting that taste, then we look for some taste or some kind of emotional stimulation in things like we were talking about, arguing, fault finding, quarreling, because that's, you get some kind of
Ruchi.
Yeah, or you start relishing that, so,
Yeah.
you know, better we really, like, try to focus on this hearing and chanting, and, like, for me, like, I have such bad japa habits, because I came to Krishna consciousness with two little kids. I had one on my hip and one on my hand, and so it's just recently, practically, that I'm realizing the importance of, you have to pay attention. You have to really focus on, and this is the last thing I'll say, like, my inspiration for chanting Hare Krishna is Mother Manarupa, who we all know and love, and she left her body a few years ago.
Yes.
When that woman would chant Hare Krishna, she was right there. She was right there, and she had a lot of responsibilities to care for her husband and her family and her household and what, you know, her seva, but when she chanted Hare Krishna, she was right there. So that's who I, you know, and then of course my own Guru Maharaj, but just, I was so much appreciating, like, many things that you said, that's where it begins, you know, hearing and chanting,
Yeah,
because Mahaprabhu, we said years and years ago, I carry it in my heart, he said, the source of our spiritual strength is to come together to hear and chant.
Wow.
And that's it. So if, you know, if nothing else, that's it.
Yeah, you're right.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada. Jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.